Chosen one, listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you, because right now, in this quiet season while you are overlooked, God is placing in you 4 rare superpowers that almost no one else will ever carry. These are not powers you brag about. These are not gifts you show off. These are silent weapons, hidden until the moment they are needed, the kind you don't even realize you have until the battle is hottest, until the night is longest, until everything in you says, this shouldn't be happening to me, not like this. But I'm telling you right now, as you hear these words, God is setting you apart with what few will ever endure enough to gain. Let me show you these 4 superpowers being birthed in secret. The same powers your enemies will never see coming. The same powers the world will say are impossible. But heaven says, watch, it's already done. Let me tell you the first superpower: radical stillness under storm. Most run, most scramble. Most do anything to distract themselves as the thunder rages and the wind beats against the window. But you, God is teaching you stillness that confuses hell itself. I'm not talking about pretending to be calm while your insides shatter. I'm not talking about sitting quietly while screaming on the inside. I mean, a quiet, steady in your bones, a shutting off of panic, a refusal to let the chaos outside dictate your inside. Right now, someone is triggering you, baiting you, sending that text or making that call, hoping you'll break. The bills are unpaid. The diagnosis came back worse than before. The contract died just as you were getting your hopes up again. Every voice outside is telling you, oh, move, fix it, lash out, retreat. But you don't. You wait. You feel the pressure mounting, your heart thumping in your chest, the icy sweat on your palms, blinking at 3 a.m. in the pitch-black room. Should you answer? Should you beg? Should you take that loan? Fury whispers. But deeper still, right at the bottom, a hush. A living stillness that says, no, wait and see. You try calling the old contacts, try rewriting your plan, try to sleep, but rest doesn't come. The night stretches out, minutes crawling, and you ache with wanting it over, but something stronger in you says, be still. And what no enemy can understand, what hell cannot sabotage, is that real stillness is the throne where God sits. Overnight, things change for the one who does not panic. Suddenly, what should have destroyed you only polishes your patience. When morning comes, the problem is still there, but the panic is gone. Your heart is quiet instead of thundering. And let me tell you, chosen radical stillness in storm is a weapon that cannot be defeated. No power of darkness has an answer for it. No manipulator can provoke you out of it. The more the storm comes, the deeper you dig into stillness, and just when they think you're out, you're only getting started. Here's the second superpower few will ever know: supernatural clarity and confusion. Right now, the world is screaming 1,000 voices at you. The lawyer says one thing, the doctor another, your friend whispers their opinion. The news feeds flood with fear, solutions, threats, and trends. You nearly drown in the counsel, the articles, the endless reels of what people say is wisdom. Most people float with the tide, swayed left then right, driven by headlines, ruled by rumor, exhausted by a steady stream of what-ifs and why-nots. But not you. You find clarity where no one else can see it. Here's what you need to understand. Supernatural clarity isn't guessing the right choice. It's a piercing through noise, a sudden knowing that doesn't come from what you read or what they told you, but from a wellspring underneath the confusion. In the thick of options, when every answer seems to contradict the last, a light opens inside you, subtle at first. Don't sign that deal. Say yes to that invitation. Fear pushes in. What if you're wrong? What if you miss it? But the clarity deepens, an unexplainable confidence to take the next step, to turn left when all the traffic says right, to stand when even your circle says sit down. You try to double-check, to look for more evidence. You read the emails again, replay the conversations, hunt for proof, but every outward confirmation fails. The world calls it luck when it succeeds for you, but luck had nothing to do with it. This is a gift of divine clarity that slices through the haze, exposes motives, shows you the hidden path. Doors slam shut in front of you. Good, it's protection. People ghost you suddenly. Good. Those voices would have muddied the signal. You take the unpopular path, and months later, fruit grows where drought was forecast. And somewhere, behind closed doors, those who wrote you off whisper, "Huludil." How did they know? Overnight, your accuracy increases while their confusion multiplies. Suddenly, the one they called too slow or too stubborn is the only one left standing as the fog lifts. That's supernatural clarity, and right now, God is sharpening it in you. Let me show you the third superpower, incorruptible hope in collapse. When everything falls, when the news turns worse, when trusted people walk away, the common result is despair. Most people spiral. Most lose heart. They crumble when the bottom drops out. But in you right now, God is forging hope that refuses to rot, that stays alive even under a pile of disappointments. I'm talking about hope that rises up on the very day the letter arrives saying, "Denied." The bill collector calls. The partnership fails. The pain down your side won't quit. You've had those days where you stare at your phone, wait for the call back that never comes, check the mailbox again, hope pulling on thin thread. You pray, you plead, you do everything right, and the answer is still not yet. Worse, no. The mind says it's over. Sleep leaves you, your stomach knots. Maybe you try to numb it, scrolling videos till your eyes burn, taking pills that only leave you foggy, praying but wondering if your words bounce off the ceiling. 3 o'clock creeps in, the room presses in, and you want to bargain, yell, or just disappear. But even here, even now, a flicker of hope won't die, and you find yourself muttering, maybe, just maybe, something will shift. When morning comes, you're battered but not broken. You drag yourself up anyway. That flicker becomes a spark again. 3 weeks later, what looked dead jolts with new life. The thing everyone buried for you bursts from the dirt, not just once, over and over. Not a naive hope, not a fragile hope, but one that's been through collapse and kept on going. That's the superpower they cannot understand, because this hope multiplies under pressure. Each hit confirms it. With each closed door, your hope thickens. With every betrayal, your hope roots deeper. You become the one others borrow their hope from. When their faith runs out, yours supplies the oil. Most give up at the brink. Yours keeps waiting, keeps believing right until the hour when resurrection comes. Now let me take you into the fourth superpower, divine immunity from destructive cycles. Some families exist in patterns that never break. Circles of bad news, same old struggle, generation to generation. The holes keep swallowing the dreamers. But God is setting on you right now as you hear my voice, a breaking of patterns, a protection that is not accident, but assignment. You notice the cycles early, relationships that keep ending the same, money always running out at the same point each year, health scares on repeat at the same anniversaries, opportunities pulled away at the finish line. Other people explain it away. You're unlucky, you're just like your mother, it's the world. That's the trap, believing the pattern can never end. But let me explain what's happening now. God severs the old lines. Doors that slammed shut for your father's father now swing open for you. Where your peers wear spiritual bruises from the same old fights, you walk with a mark of divine exemption. That report comes, and instead of dread, you sense a shield. What crippled them cannot cripple you. You recognize the triggers. Where others fall, you stand. You get calls with bad news, but the words don't stick. Attacks bounce off, contracts return bigger, sickness leaves as suddenly as it came, invitations arrive to tables you were never allowed to enter before. You are no longer held in orbit by what enslaved everyone before you. No matter how much history tries to drag you back, the cycle breaks. That's divine immunity. A stamp heaven has placed on your spirit. Barriers that blocked you now dissolve in front of you. Patterns snap behind you. Chosen reformer, hear heaven's decree over your life right now. They wanted you anxious, but God gave you stillness. They wanted you confused, but you walk in supernatural clarity. They wanted your hope to collapse, but hope multiplied inside you when all was lost. They wanted you trapped in cycles, but God has marked you immune. Suddenly, all 4 superpowers burst to the surface. Overnight, every rare gift is activated. Right now, as you breathe in these words, the storm will not break you. Confusion will not blind you. Despair will not drown you. And cycles will not bind you. All 4 rare superpowers seated in you, hidden, but now revealed. Moving, but now unstoppable. What they counted out, God has counted on. Let it be so. Let me take you deeper, because some part of you still wonders what all this trial is for. Why you've had to carry heaviness that others never even notice. Why you face battles no one else ever sees. Right now, while people think you're done, while they scroll past your name and forget your number, while they gather in secret chats thinking the story is finished, let me tell you what's happening behind closed doors. The reversal has already begun, and you don't even have to force it. There's a quiet unraveling in the camp of those who came against you. Where they sat secure, now there's a hollow. Where they whispered, now there's nothing but the echo of their own words. Let me break this down for you. The very tables that rejected you are left with empty chairs. The deals they kept you out of have started to rot at the core. Right now, someone is realizing they needed your integrity more than they needed their convenience. Overnight, things are shifting so fast in your absence that even those at the top can't make sense of it. Meetings stall out, emails go unanswered, opportunities dry up. What they called favor fades the moment you leave the room. Let me show you exactly what they feel. The weight of absence is heavier than your presence ever was. Every attempt to replicate your grace falls flat. Let me explain why this is devastating for them, because everything they stole, everything they hoarded, everything they used to block you is slipping through their fingers. Not just money, not just titles, but peace, sleep, clarity, favor. It goes, and they remember your name even though they try not to speak it. Now, chosen one, let me take you inside that rough 3 a.m., the place only you and God see. The clock burns its light across your mind, numbers crawling so slow you wish you could drag time ahead by force. Your heart is pounding loud enough you press your palm to your chest just to feel if it's still steady. You toss from side to side, pillow twisted, heat rising in your neck, knuckles clenched under the blanket. You try breathing deep, reciting promises, playing music to distract your mind, but every sound morphs back into the what-ifs and how long and why me. Thoughts race. How am I supposed to pay this? Which friend can I even trust? Will I lose everything I've tried to build? You answered every text, did every favor, poured out until your battery was dead, but you're still empty, still waiting, still unseen. Your phone light blinding in the dark, scrolling for a distraction you pray will click you back to sleep. News, messages, people who seem to glide while you sink. You wonder, desperate, if the pills in the drawer would numb out just a little of this ache. If one more whispered prayer would change heaven's mind. Your mind throws every scenario at you, flashes of losing it all, flashes of packing up, moving out, letting go. And every time you fight one image off, another creeps in. Maybe you think morning will make it lighter. But when the sun finally rises, the ache is still sat on your chest, heavy, persistent, wearing you out before the day even starts. You go through the motions, dragging yourself to tasks that taste like ash. Hope feels traitorous because every time you trust, disappointment returns. You want to believe truly, but fatigue wraps around you like wet cloth. Still, somehow you put one foot in front of the other. You can't even explain why you haven't quit. The miracle is not in what changed outside, but that you remain standing on the inside. The enemy wanted this panic to break you, but every silent scream, every denied prayer, every dark hour, God is watching, counting, building something indestructible in your core. You don't see it yet. You can't measure it yet. But heaven held those tears, and now God is moving in the hours no one else knows. Let me show you what comes next. Open vindication. I'm not talking about applause, not some parade in your honor. I mean doors swinging open so wide, everyone who tripped you is forced to watch you walk through. Listen carefully, the promotion bypassed you 3, maybe 4 rounds. Always a not yet, always a next quarter, never quite the right fit. But right now, suddenly the system that overlooked you can't function without you. The manager scrambles, calls go out, abrupt invitations after months of silence. You get the voicemail at 7:03 a.m. Can we talk today? They thought replacing you would be easy. But nothing runs without your touch, your order, your discernment. And it's not just work. Listen, those rooms you were always on the edge of, always waiting for an invitation, suddenly swing open. The person who wouldn't answer your email, who never replied to your bid or sample or proposal, is coming back, asking what it will take for you to join. You don't chase this, it chases you. Even those who whispered against you come forward, arms open, admitting they misjudged, sometimes with an apology, often with an awkward silence. You recall praying, "God, just give me one chance." Now doors multiply where there were only walls, right in front of the ones who watched you suffer. The reversal is so public that even those who bet against you can't explain it away. The ones who said, "You'll never recover." See your name rising on reports, your work cited, your influence growing. You don't have to answer back, don't have to clap back, don't have to tell your side. God makes your restoration so obvious no one can doubt it. Those who said you are too much, you are not enough, now admit, we need exactly what you are. This is vindication, the truth made undeniable, and it comes without your force, without your striving, simply by the inevitability of God's timing. But this isn't just for your comfort, chosen one. Let me tell you what's really happening. Vindication is not the finish line, it's the launching pad. When God raises you up, it isn't only to relieve your pain, it's to commission you, to appoint you, to set you as a breaker of chains in other people's lives. You survived cycles. Now you're sent to break cycles for others. You came through the storm, now you anchor others in their own. What crushed you creates your credentials. New doors aren't just rewards, they're new assignments. Right now, even as favor increases, new burdens arrive. Messages come from people you didn't expect. How did you do it? How did you last? Former enemies become students. Those who mocked now ask for help. Your private pain becomes public wisdom. Let me take you into that new day. You wake up not wondering if you'll survive, but knowing others are watching, depending. Your words carry weight in rooms that shut you out for years. There are requests for your insight, not just your labor. You sense the pull, new territories opening, new circles asking for your voice, new causes that need someone who will not back down. Suddenly you see the pattern. What nearly killed you now feeds your influence. The trauma is your testimony, the difficulty your destiny. You speak not only from faith, but from lived experience. Those old panic hours become counsel for those quietly suffering. You move with authority, not loud, but undeniable. Your journey, once a private ache, now marks new pathways for those coming behind. But let me warn you, with every new season, the old temptations return in disguise. You'll be offered shortcuts, glittering deals, fast roads to comfort. Your discernment, your clarity, the stillness and hope God forged in you, these are now your guardrails. You'll see the same patterns trying to knock, the same whispers. Just compromise, just blend in, just say yes to what you know is less. But you've been calibrated by fire. Your no is iron now. You know what captivity felt like. You know the price of freedom, and you won't trade your inheritance for applause or approval. Others may bend, but you stay steady. Others may sell out, but you've paid in blood and sweat and nights no one else can carry. The seat you sit in now is paid for in tears, so when opportunity knocks, you test the spirit, you ask God again. Others want your platform. You want only obedience. You turn down offers that would have snared you a year ago. People wonder why you're so cautious. Let them. You're not rushing anymore. The one who promoted you is the only one whose timeline matters. Now, chosen one, let me release a closing decree over you. The night shaped you for authority. What tried to undo you set you apart. Every season of pain pressed you deeper into purpose. Every betrayal paved your future. The wind that roared to scatter you has now carried your voice into new places. Where they planned your exit, heaven planned your entrance. Where they wrote you off, heaven wrote you in. They wanted a breakdown. You became the backbone. They wanted you forgotten. You became unforgettable. They wanted a lesson. You became the evidence. They sought to bury you. You became the seed that multiplies. They built walls. God set tables. They erased your name. God established your legacy. The storm didn't take you, it revealed you. Doors shut, but destiny opened wider. The reversal is complete. Vindication is public. Your commission is unstoppable. Every promise stands, every gift multiplies. Every chain they wore is broken because you broke through. From midnight agony to midday assignment, not one tear wasted, not 1 hour lost. Suddenly, overnight, right now, you move in your full authority, unshakable, unbreakable, marked by the rarest superpowers, released to change every atmosphere you enter. This is your time. Let it be established, let it be seen, let it be so. Chosen one, don't tune this out now, right now, with the air changing around you, with the silence growing heavier because people don't know what to say at your rising. Heaven is holding its breath over what happens next. I'm not talking about a fairy tale victory, not some make-believe happy ending. I'm talking about tables turning in plain sight right before the eyes of those who set traps then tried to walk away. Let me take you into the details. God is working in their calendars. Old meetings get canceled, new ones set, and they have to watch your name coming up again and again. Their circles turn restless, uneasy, as if they know in their gut there's been a shift. They scroll their phones, tracing social feeds, hungry to glimpse if you really made it or if the rumors are fiction. But you're not waiting for their validation. Not anymore. The roles are reversing in daylight. You walk where you could only watch before. You stand where you once had to wait in the hall. The power that pushed you out is powerless to stop your return. Let me show you this because it's real and it's happening. Right now, someone who blocked you has to explain why you're necessary. They have to dig out old emails, scramble to stitch together a story, tell their higher-ups why they sent you away when your absence broke what they were so sure they'd fixed. You don't need to gloat. Heaven's vindication leaves you silent, not smug. But faces go pale, words stutter. The very ones who threw your name around as if it was nothing now find your name on the critical list. The deal everyone said don't bother with, it reopens for your signature. The project that was already full suddenly has an empty seat. Only the seat has your name carved on it before you even get the invitation. People who never saw you, who never returned a call or a message, are now pressing in, hoping for one moment of your wisdom, your presence, your insight. And not just the ones you thought would come back. Strangers hear of your endurance, your story, your survival, and word spreads. It's not hype, it's not a trend. It's a divine reversal so thorough that what was robbed is restored, and then some. But beneath the surface, let me tell you what's running even deeper. The reversal is not just about the jobs or the invites or the money or the recognition. There's vindication in your relationships, the places of bleeding where betrayal cut deep. The ones who turned cold, who spoke sideways, now find themselves in rooms with people who defend your name. Someone tries to whisper old gossip and the room goes icy. The people who believed evil reports about you now confront truth in living color, watching as your character stands unshaken. You don't chase revenge. You don't clap back. You keep moving, and the dignity of your walk makes their words small. Family members who wrote you off start reaching out, awkward, hoping for a simple reply, craving a sliver of the peace nothing else gave them. Let me say it plain. You're not just vindicated in public. You're vindicated in the private spaces, in the hearts and minds of people who thought they understood the plot but wake up to find they missed the entire story. You are the evidence they can't deny. You are proof walking, breathing, living. Now, chosen one, as you stand in the glow of open reversal, get ready for the second side of this arc, the weight and joy of real commission. Because victory is never a stopping point. Life comes fast, opportunities hit, but every new table brings new tests. It's different now. You aren't striving to get in. You are deciding what's worth your time, your spirit, your anointing. Let me break this down for you. The conversations shift. People want not only what you do, but who you are. Old patterns try to reappear, familiar ways of pleasing for the sake of being liked, but you've outgrown that now. The nights of need have built boundaries that others struggle to understand. Invitations come. Some are gold, others poison in a pretty package. They want access to your oil, but not everyone is ready for your process. You pause, you pray, you test every motive, not out of suspicion, but stewardship. You know the cost now. You guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of new life. Let me tell you what heaven expects. Right now, as favor grows, humility must deepen. You remember what the dark felt like, what silence cost, so you sow mercy and grace to those still in the prayer trenches. You don't climb alone. When your hands find the doorknob to that next level, you pull another with you. You share freely what you wished you'd had, wisdom earned at midnight, the tricks you learned when money ran low and hope was a thread. You tell the truth, not the sanitized version, but the ways you almost broke, the nights you nearly gave up, the miracle of waking up still able to try again. And through it all, God begins to surround you with a community that doesn't take but gives, that encourages you to rest, to trust, to move at heaven's pace. There's laughter again, honest, surprised, unforced. There are tears, not of sorrow now, but of gratitude. The wounds become scars, and the scars become stories, and the stories become water for the thirsty. This is not the commission you expected, but it's the only one that matters. Lives changed because you survived. And let's go deeper still. The attack that was supposed to ruin your health, the stress meant to drive you sick, the diagnosis they expected to take you down. It reverses in your body. There is strength rising that doctors can't explain. Energy where only exhaustion should be. Appointments now bring good news, not bad. The thing you feared most, losing your strength, turns into a testimony wrapped in flesh and bone. People ask what supplements you're on, what healer you called, how you survived rounds of stress that burn others out. But you know, it wasn't magic, it was mercy. Where the enemy designed weakness, God sowed resilience. Where you were supposed to break, capacity multiplied in you. Day by day, the excess of what you endured flows out as healing for others. Your presence alone steadies weary hands and calms anxious hearts. Doors to platforms open so you can speak about what nearly took you. Your vulnerability, not your bravado, is what draws the hungry out from the crowd. Now hear this. Financial floors are shifting under you. The patterns of lack, the recurring losses, abrupt reversals, they're breaking. Offers you never saw coming arrive in your inbox. Partnerships that once collapsed resurface stronger and truer. Where there was barely enough, now there's seed for giving and abundance for building. You watch invoices get paid on time, old debts vanish, new streams form where you didn't even know to look. This is not just about payback, it's about preparation. The resources you receive are not just for you, they're the tool to multiply justice, to underwrite mercy, to keep sowing where you once borrowed. The reversal is generational, the kind that shifts your children's stories and covers family gaps. The kind that breaks poverty narratives so thoroughly no one even remembers how it felt to run on empty. You are no longer the borrower, you're the answer to prayers in places you never knew your name would reach. But let me return to the core, your spirit, your reputation. Where they mocked, now they marvel. Where they eyed you with suspicion, now they come seeking wisdom. The same voice that shook in the night now carries clear in daylight, trusted beyond circles you ever dreamed. The weight of rejection you wore becomes the gravity that draws right people, right mission, right opportunities. You sense heaven smiling when you choose integrity over applause, when you wait for God's yes instead of the world's rush. The more you lean into this commission, the more doors swing without your striving. Your name crosses tables without you being in the room. Bridges burned by others are rebuilt because your presence alone is needed to finish what faltered in your absence. From this place of vindication, now you set the pace, not out of pride, but purpose. You refuse distractions. You let go of the old applause lines. Every room you enter shifts. Every project you touch carries a different gravity. Wisdom sits down at your table and stays. What was invisible on you is now undeniable. The mantle, the calling, the rare anointing. Let me close with the decree rising in heaven right now, for this is the hour of your public commissioning, your turnaround, your restoration on every level. They said you wouldn't make it, and you outlasted them all. They circled your weakness, but you rose with new strength. They forecasted your collapse, but you learned to build on ashes. They minimized your worth, but you became the watermark every counterfeit exposed. They tried to empty your table, but God filled it with more than you lost. They budgeted for your absence, but heavens banked on your survival. They spoke last rites, but you answered with life abundant. They mocked your mercy, but you multiplied it. They questioned your story, but it became the chapter no one could edit or erase. They wanted your silence. God gave you a voice for a generation. They designed your end. God finalized your beginning. It's no longer just reversal, but fulfillment. Every rare superpower not only activated, but multiplied to overflowing. Every wound not just healed, but weaponized for healing. Every loss restored beyond recognition. This is your hour, your table, your lineage forever changed. They wanted a casualty, but God produced a champion. They wanted everything shut. Heaven opened everything wide. Now suddenly, overnight, and for all who come after you, let it be done. Let it stand. Let it be so. Chosen as the dust of your reversal hangs in the air and the word is spreading even in rooms you've never entered, let me show you what the Spirit is orchestrating right now, in the hidden, in the silent shiftings underneath tomorrow's headlines. You are not just the story told, not just the survivor the crowd watches, not just the recipient of sympathy, they see only the surface. But heaven and hell both know you are now the turning point for entire bloodlines, the pivot in ancestral stories, the one the old curse cannot shadow. There was a moment not so long ago when everything seemed finished, resources dried up, friends evaporated, every hopeful sign flipped to warning. You remember it. The knock at the door when you only expected bad news. The text that vibrated like a threat. The dread that filled you before you ever checked the mail. The dreams you didn't bother writing down anymore because what was the point? Those moments, the nights you prayed with dried-out voice, the mornings you sat silent over cold coffee, the afternoons where you practiced a steady face just to walk into the next obligation, don't you see? Those were the beds where your strength was made while the world assumed you were powerless. Now everything is repositioned. The story is public and the tables are flipped, but the world's applause isn't what marks you. The mark is deeper. The mark is undeniable favor, irreproducible because it was born in darkness, pressed in you while you wondered if anyone even heard your cry. Vindication isn't noise, it's quiet, deep, irreversible. People who left you unseen now search you out, not just for what you can solve, but because your peace has a weight that can't be counterfeited. Work circles, family lines, even adversaries circle around, testing the air, realizing the old games won't work anymore. Their words fumble, their arguments collapse before truth they never suspected. What was manipulated in darkness is exposed in light. Every backdoor meeting becomes irrelevant. The atmosphere shifts. You don't have to fight for space. The void you left did more preaching than your presence ever could. Now when you return, something in the architecture itself submits. They sense it in the silence. The authority you carry isn't borrowed, it's permanent, anchored beyond any one job or relationship or network. Let me tell you plainly, some of those who leveraged your absence for their own gain are coming clean. Some can't sleep. The unease gnaws at them in boardrooms, in empty cars, in restless beds at dawn. They may mouth apologies or stumble instead through, "I didn't know," or "things got away from me," and you'll see their eyes, how relief and regret swim together. Heaven is making it impossible for anyone to exploit your kindness again. Your boundaries hold. Where you once had to prove your worth, the proof is in your endurance. Even as you extend forgiveness, even as you welcome wisdom, the terms have changed. You are not returning to old spaces as who you were, but as someone remade in fire and not afraid to walk away from every compromised promise. The same tables where you were once overlooked now need your voice to move forward. The ones who laughed in low places are learning that mercy flows from the throne, but not at the cost of self-betrayal. Vindication anchors you, but it launches you too. The commission on your life is not a crown, it's a call. A call to occupy, to strengthen, to fortify what was once left vulnerable. The justice you cried for is now the justice you become. Where you see others holding their breath in waiting rooms, holding back tears in kitchens late at night, you step in not with easy answers, but with presence. The anointing you bear is not for noise, but for atmosphere. When you show up, chains get lighter, lies get quiet, hope breathes fresh again. Sometimes it's only a sentence you share, or a kindness born of your own wounds, or just a look that says, "Yes, I know, I endured too." Those moments break cycles without a word of fanfare. Now people watch you not as entertainment, but as blueprint. They measure their own storms against the steady witness of your survival. You don't speak to impress anymore. Your words are seed for those who will carry burden after you. Watch how your steps mark new territory. Those dreams you put on the shelf, those God-given blueprints you tucked away for later, dust them off because doors you never dared pray for stand flung wide. Papers get signed, rooms are prepared, allies show up who weren't even in your contacts. Where insecurity and lack used to rule, resources appear, funds, contracts, platforms, aligned without your manipulation. Where bitterness wanted to root, so gratitude flowers instead. You hire the ones who know what it means to wait in the shadows. You welcome those the world called damaged and discover they possess diamonds refined by fire. You refuse the deal that feels off even when it gleams, and what you let pass by returns in a far holier package months later. Your steps are not hungry, they are chosen. The hunger is not for recognition, but for righteousness. Not for acclaim, but for completion of the assignment. Pay attention because relationships shift under the weight of your commission. Some people, afraid of your acceleration, will retreat or criticize, wishing you'd shrink to who you were so they wouldn't be forced to grow. You bless them quietly. You keep moving. You attract those who long for truth over comfort, growth over gossip, destiny over drama. Friendships emerge that feel like home in a world of performance. You become a mentor before you even realize it, as others gravitate to the oil on your scars. The steady light in your voice, the calm rooted deep where before a storm raged nightly. These circles don't compete, they celebrate. They cover you in prayer, guard your blind spots, remind you that rest is as sacred as conquest. Divine reversal in your health keeps multiplying. Where weariness marked you, supernatural energy wakes you before the alarm. Old afflictions lift, the pain recedes, strength returns, not by accident but appointment. There's clarity in your eyes, a new sound in your laughter, the posture of one who knows where they've come from and who brought them through. Your body becomes a sign to those who doubted you'd recover. No chronic emergency, no perpetual ache. Healing overtakes what was left in ruins. This is new creation, completed in you. Now let me lay this decree before your spirit, the one echoing through realms right now. What tried to choke your promise has become the fertilizer for harvest. What was stolen has returned multiplied, pressed down and running over. The people who watched for your ruin now witness resurrection. Peer after peer, superior after superior, system after system. They see favor they can't explain, open doors they never approved, authority they never authorized. Your quiet witness drowns out every lie spoken against you. They tried to count you out, heaven counted you in. They planned for your disappearance. God orchestrated your revealing. They wanted you conveniently forgettable. Now every room needs your presence to function. They wanted a history. You became the future. Everything meant for your defeat has been translated into legacy. Let every word spoken against you fall to dust. Let every crooked strategy unravel. Let sadness turn to songs, night to new mercies, threat to throne. Every rare superpower in you tested and untwistable, now visible for all to see. Bruised but not broken, hidden but now heralded, silent but now sent, this is your commission. This is your hour. Let every generation call you blessed, because you would not bow, you would not break, you would not let yesterday have the last word. This is the decree, unshakable, unbreakable, established forever. Let it be so.